Hi, everyone. Welcome to another amazing topic of conversation. I want to thank my sponsors, the Health Channel. So please sign up for their newsletter on everything that has to do with healthy living. And for new spaces on work offices, anything from boardrooms, Alexa's workspaces. And I want to say from the Power of the Heels that we look forward to seeing you on our big event as we kick off Women's History Month on March 1st for Disruptive Monarchy II, the new royals for women who dare to lead different. So everything on leadership, a little bit of gossip, but new trends of leadership, and it's going to be a very fun and educating event. So go to indigoevents.net and sign up. So thank you, Cece, for joining us today. I know that this is something that everybody wants to ask because if anybody has done an amazing job at branding something, it has been TED Talks, TEDx, TED, the whole thing. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Because I really wanted to ask you first, tell us a little bit about yourself. And then we'll get into the TED conversation.
All right. So thank you, first of all, for having me, for inviting me to your show. I've heard so much about you over the last few months, and I'm just happy to be here. So my name is Cece Espeut, and if you say the first name, Cece, it sounds like yes, yes in Spanish. And my last name in French, Espeut, means it's possible. So I always say my parents did me a solid because anything I try, I know that yes, yes, it's possible. And that's me. I am right. I'm like,
That's
I don't know that
amazing.
my parents actually realized that, but hey, that's my name. So I am a former US Marine. I am an author. I am a storyteller and a master photographer. And years ago, I made some bad decisions and I ended up in prison for 2 years. And I was in solitary confinement for almost
What did you do?
Oh, if I tell you, I have to kill you. No, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I didn't say that out loud, did I? I went, oh my gosh, like, no. But anyway, so it was myself and my unit. We made some bad decisions and we all ended up in prison. So I get out of prison and I decide never to go back. But that story, people wanted to hear it.
But wait a second, was that before the Marines or during when you were?
That was at the end of my Marine Corps career. Okay. And so it was me and 30 of my closest friends in our unit. We all ended up in prison.
Well, how did you end up going to the Marines?
No, I was in the Marines. And then,
what made you go to the Marines?
Oh, okay. Now, you want to hear that story?
Of course, I want to hear the whole story.
So my recruiter looked really, really good in his dress blues. And we actually dated for almost 2 years. And it was my pleasure to serve, may I add.
Oh my God. So you ended up serving in the Marines just
because he was really, really good looking. And we had a fantastic relationship, but we were always stationed in different parts of the country. So, we remained friends for 42 years until he passed away last year from COVID. But he was my friend, my confidant, everything. And, I just absolutely loved him. So just because it didn't work out between us romantically, we were really, really good friends.
and
for 42 years.
And the marine side of it, was it what you expected, or it was like an eye-opening after, oh, what did I do?
It was kind of like a, oh, what did I do kind of a situation. It really was. But I will tell anybody, serve your country, no matter what country you are from. If you have an opportunity to give back and serve your country, do it. It really, it made me feel good. It made me feel good, and it made me the person that I am today. So yeah, shout out to all the veterans, all the military families, all the Gold Star families. You know, we love, honor, and support you. So, you know, shout out to all of you. So yeah, that was my Marine Corps.
Okay, but now, before we go into the other part, we need to know what you did.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Okay. So your experience in jail.
Oh, like I said, I was in solitary confinement for almost a year, and it was not the best experience I had. And I made up my mind when I was leaving prison that I was never going to go back. And after that, I had the opportunity to go and speak in jails and prisons, which I did. And I ended up doing a TEDx talk on that. All right. So that's how my journey and my love of TEDx came about. And I know people are always saying, well, you did a TED talk, but no, I did TEDx. And the difference is, think of TED as like a PhD, you know, it's right, but TEDx as a bachelor's or a master's kind of program. So you do TEDx first, and then the big one in Vancouver, which is only once a year, is TED. All right. But most people are familiar with TEDx.
So wait, and what is TED Talks?
So it's like TEDx on steroids.
TED Talks is steroids?
Yeah, like TEDx on steroids. So TEDx is like a local community event.
But like, for example, TED Miami, or
no,
TEDx Miami.
TEDx
Miami and TEDx, all those are like the mini ones.
Right, those are your local ones. And when we're saying mini, some of them can have up to 2,000 people.
No, I get it. I'm not saying in that they're really small.
Right. So the X, when it has the X, it just means that it's a local community event. All right. When there is no X, that means Vancouver. That's the big. That's the big one. That's the big one, and that's where we all hope we get to
the big one.
Right. So like Brene Brown, she did TED. All right.
And but how many people do the big one?
Maybe, I don't know the actual numbers, but that's where we all hope to get to, you know. And so that conference is a week long, a whole week long. TEDx, the local events, are maybe just one day or maybe 4 to 6 hours. So that's the difference. But the signs look the same. It's the same red TED.
No, I tell you, the branding that they've done is amazing.
Yes. You know,
so yes. Branding has been, okay, so now we know the difference.
Right. So you, and anybody who's out there, yes, we aspire to do TED, but you really want to say TEDx. All right. Unless you're Brene Brown and, you know, Malcolm Gladwell, they do TED, you know. But for us regular folks, it's
you TEDx. Do TEDx.
We do TEDx.
And for those who have no clue, can you explain what a TEDx talk is all about?
All right. So TEDx is when you can spread, you have an idea that's worth spreading, that you can explain in 18 minutes or less. So if you're a talker, no. You've got to be able to explain your idea in 18 minutes or less, right? Tell a story. So you have to be really succinct. You have to know your facts, and you have to be able to kind of move the crowd, and just hold them in the palm of your hand and just
Until the end.
until the end. Yes, yes, yes.
So what kind of topics?
It can be anything, anything. Now, here's what I'm going to give you all the secret.
Okay, because this is behind the scenes.
Right.
So you need to tell us the juicy stuff.
The juicy stuff. If there is a particular group of people that has a specific problem that you have the solution for, that you can put that solution in the form of a story, that's what they're looking for. That's an idea that's worth spreading. It's just that simple.
No, it's not that simple, because the other day somebody said, why don't you apply? And I read my little story and it ended up being like 45 minutes. So it's not that simple getting it to 18 or 15.
So here's the thing that most people don't know. They think that I just roll out of bed, look so fabulous, pick up a mic,
and just talk.
Just talk. That's not how it's done.
Okay.
Once we're selected as a speaker, they assign us a coach. And then in a situation like yours, your coach would start pulling out the important parts of your speech and then saying, okay, Gladys, this doesn't need to be said, or that's redundant. All right. And so by the time you're finished, it's a nice 18-minute speech. Yeah, that's how it's done.
Oh, so like everybody can start with a bigger idea and then you just literally concise it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's exactly how it's done. So sometimes it's more important that you have an idea that's worth spreading than that you're a polished speaker. They can make you a polished speaker. They cannot give you an idea that's worth spreading.
So wait a sec. Take me through the process.
Okay. I just finished doing TEDx Eustis, which is just outside of Orlando. My idea.
But wait, you were a speaker or you were?
I've been a speaker for many years. I've been a speaker for many years. Their theme, the organizers give you a theme. So the theme was intersections. They wanted to know, how do things intersect? My idea was spreading was science needs a story. And it was the idea that scientists are explaining their research projects, but we, the lay people, don't understand. And so how do we get them to understand? By telling stories. And that was the intersection. All right. So that was my idea. And then I had a part of a story. And then my coach and I, we just narrowed it down until we got to 18 minutes. So that's how we did it.
How does because I know that TED or TEDx is made a lot of volunteers. So you do not get paid to go and speak?
No.
What about the coaches?
They don't get paid either.
They don't get paid either?
Nope, nobody gets paid. This is a true.
This is the interesting, I know, because I worked with one of the TEDx in Miami, and I remember that the first thing they said is, everybody is volunteering. We don't pay anyone.
Right, nobody gets paid. Nobody gets paid. Right. So that really makes it pure, and nobody's doing anything for money, so you're coming with your best.
So how do you fund all the events?
Okay. TED.com So this is the one time that there's no X in there. TED.com. And you go there and you click on attend, and then you'll just, it comes up with a map and you can select the year and the month, but just go and look and find events that are, I don't know, close to where you live or somewhere that you normally go. And then you apply.
No, to apply, but how do you fund, for example, the events that are done in each city? Because if everybody is a volunteer, so the people that attend, they do pay to attend.
Right, they pay to attend because there's certain things that have to be paid for, like the food has to
The
be paid
food, the
for.
venue, correct,
The
those
venue,
things you
right.
do pay.
Right, those things, I mean, because nobody's going to feed 200 people for free.
Yeah, correct.
Right, so there are expenses that go along with it, but anybody who's volunteering, working, speaking, coaching, they do not get paid, no.
Okay, that's really interesting.
You know, and some of these events are big budgets. You know, they have big budgets, so yes. But
So it's the people attending
right,
that
the
really
people,
fund the
correct,
events.
correct, and the sponsors. So we love our sponsors. We always give them shout outs. You know, they sponsor the t-shirts or the bags or the programs. We need our sponsors, yes, definitely.
Got it. So wait, let me ask you something. Now, professionally, you actually do workshops for people who want to be in TEDx.
Right, so to maintain integrity, I cannot coach somebody to be a TEDx speaker because I'm so involved in TED, but I can coach you on how to be a better speaker. And then of course I can give you some directions, you know, apply here, do this, do that. But you cannot pay to be on the TEDx stage.
No, correct.
Correct.
No, I totally understand. You cannot pay to be on the TEDx. And that's the whole beauty of it.
Correct, correct.
Because that's the beauty of the whole thing, because people that do not have the funds and really have something to teach others, they can have a stage.
Right,
and
correct.
They can be heard.
Correct, correct. So I do host workshops on storytelling, on how to be a better speaker, things like that. So yes, and I actually having one in February. So shameless plug here. If you connect with me, either
totally, please
on
connect with her if you want to be a TEDx expert, or
right,
want to be a more
just a better speaker.
A better speaker. Yep.
Just a better speaker. So if you connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook, that's the way, and I will be having the announcements out about
what's the date?
I don't know yet. That's why you need to stay in touch with me. You need to follow me on LinkedIn.
So if anybody remembers her name, Cece.
Right. So it's Cece Espeut, Espeut, and I'm sure it will be in the show notes. But just
of course, we will share her name so you can connect in LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Before we leave, that I know that time is running out because I also wanted to hear other things. What are some of the biggest, like the most craziest topics you've ever heard on TEDx?
You hear all kinds of things that, you know, you never even thought, you never even thought of. So I'll tell you, one of my favorite talks is by Malcolm Gladwell, who happens to be Jamaican, but you know, that I'm Jamaican, right? But you know, that's not why I love his talk. He did a talk on David and Goliath. And when he gives you the reasoning and he explains why that popular Bible story, you know, how it really took place, or it could have taken place, it just lets you think like, oh, you just look at it from another point of view. So I absolutely love his TEDx talk. But then of course I also love my own too. So hey.
Give me some of the names so that people can look for them.
Okay, my first one is Everybody Gets a Second Chance. That's the first TEDx talk I did. And I just completed, just this weekend, a couple days ago, like 2 days ago, I completed another one called Science Needs a Story.
Oh, you
But
told us
that,
about that.
right, but that one won't actually be on YouTube for like another month or so because they've got to do all the editing and clean up all the sound. But yes, either one of those are really, really good. Yeah.
So about the second chances when you, after your story, when you went to jail.
Right. No, I didn't go to jail. I went to prison, and that's the difference. Jail, you come home for. Jail is just like, hey, you go for the weekend, they
Really?
bond you out. But when you go to prison, you're actually staying there.
Oh, I never knew that.
Right, right. So all the time people would call me and they would say, Cece, can you help? Johnny went to prison this weekend, but what do I do? And I would say, well, where is Johnny? Oh, he's sleeping in his bedroom. I'm like,
Oh.
no, Johnny didn't go to prison. Johnny went to jail because you can bail somebody out of jail and you go to jail for up to a year. Anything
Okay.
else, it's prison.
Oh, that's the difference. I had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
So when they
And,
bail, hopefully
right.
you.
And the thing, the reason why I actually did that TEDx talk was because people would come with and make statements like that using the wrong terminology. And because of that, they wouldn't get what they needed. Because if you're using the wrong terminology, you don't get what you need. All right. So words matter. Jail and prison, two different things. All right, two different things. So, but yeah. So
I imagine that when you left prison, it was pretty hard getting your life back.
Oh, incredibly hard.
How
Yes.
was your transition to life back?
Well, remember, I'm coming straight out of solitary confinement, not having spoken to anybody in almost a year. My voice was very gravelly. I couldn't be around people because I was just like freaked out. And then they tell me I've got to get a job within 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
In 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Why?
Because that was the arbitrary number that they came up with. Or they were going to send me back. So right there, that's the setup for, well, I
Failure.
can't deal. Right. It's a setup for failure. I can't deal with the outside world.
Much less getting a job.
Right. Much less getting a job. And at that time, I ended up getting a job at a local breakfast restaurant, chain restaurant. And they paid me $2.15 an hour. And I had a college degree at the time.
But you had a job.
But I had a job, but it's only
So
paying me
you
$2.
were not going back.
I was not going back. And so that's how that whole, I really had to create a whole new life for myself, yeah. And so that's what I talk about in my first TEDx talk. Yeah.
Cece, it has been a real pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So we're all looking forward to hearing when is the next one so we can go and see you.
Okay,
And
great.
to everyone, thank you so much. Until next week, and above all, stay safe. Have a wonderful day.